Gilmore, Deputy Gilmore, without interruption. Deputy Gilmore, without interruption.
The Taoiseach seems to think that things are fine in the health service. Yesterday, there were 390 people on trolleys in accident and emergency units. That's just 10 less than the number who were on trolleys on the day that Minister Harney announced an accident and an A&E emergency in 2006. On Wednesday last, the HSE published a service plan which said that there would be 500 million cut from the health services. And yesterday it emerged that that figure is now closer to 1 billion. There are 500 beds already gone out of the health service, and it's proposed to take another 600 out. That's 1,100. It costs €200,000 to provide a bed. In other words, there's €220 million that has already been spent in providing hospital beds that are now not going to be used under this plan. We are faced with a situation this morning, Taoiseach, where you or your deputy are going to come in here tomorrow morning and you're going to propose that Dáil will be suspended for 6 weeks. We go out of business for 6 weeks. At a time when the country is facing its worst economic crisis, at a time when our banks are in crisis, and at a time when we're seeing government ministers, including the Minister for Health, coming in with additional cuts in services. At this moment in time, Taoiseach, this country needs a government. It needs leadership. It needs people who've got a handle on the problems that are facing the country and are facing the people, and it doesn't have that. What we have is a government that is politically and economically dysfunctional, that's adrift, and that is now staggering, exhausted to the Christmas break. One thing after another you're not getting right. You haven't got the banks right. You told us on Sunday that there was going to be a 10 billion rescue plan, and when I asked you direct questions on it yesterday, you couldn't answer a single one of them. We're no wiser today about what you're going to do about the banks than we were last week. On the economy, you said 2 weeks ago we didn't need an economic recovery plan. The beginning of this week you said you had an economic recovery plan. We still haven't seen it. We're now told it's some kind of a framework. When are we going to see this economic recovery plan that you've been talking about and dining over in Farmleigh? We still haven't seen it. The problem, Taoiseach, is that you're not governing. The problem is that the country has serious economic, social and service problems that are not being addressed by your government, and people are becoming increasingly depressed by that. The biggest problem that people have this Christmas, and everybody knows that the country is facing enormous challenges and enormous economic difficulties, and frankly I think people are prepared to step up to the plate and prepared to address them collectively. But the problem that we have in this country is that we don't have a government which is giving the leadership, giving the direction and providing any sense that there is a solution that we can get through these difficult times. So Taoiseach, 1, are you serious about closing down the House for 6 weeks in these times? 2, when are you going to tell us what you're going to do about the banks? 3, when are we going to get the detail of these health cuts that the Minister for Health is talking about? And 4, when are we going to see the economic recovery plan that you've been talking about?
Put your question, Deputy Gilmore, without interruption.
Your problem, Taoiseach, is the government that you're leading, because it's not doing its job. That's the problem. You have got more cooperation from the opposition than I think any government has got in a long time, and frankly a lot more than you deserve. You got cooperation from the opposition on Lisbon. You got cooperation from the opposition last week when we had a problem in the pig industry and in that industry. You've got cooperation from us generally throughout the past number of months in relation to the economy. You got cooperation from the opposition on the. You got cooperation from the opposition on the banks, and frankly, as far as this party was concerned, it's turned out that we were absolutely right in the criticism you made. What you're looking for, Taoiseach, and what you're not going to get, you're looking for a silent opposition. Yes. You don't want an opposition at all. You want silence. You are getting. If we were, the one thing that constrains me in saying what I really want to say about the incompetence, about the lack of drive, about the lack of initiative, about the lack of effort on the part of your government, is that if I were to say some of the things I really want to say, I think it might cause damage. That's the biggest constraint. That's the biggest constraint that I have. Your government, Taoiseach, let's get this absolutely clear, lest there be any doubt about it. Your government is appalling. It's a deadbeat government. It's not able to lead. It's not able to lead this country. It's not able to lead this country out of the problems that your government has created in the first place. You have driven us into the worst economic problem that the country has had for decades, and you have no idea. You have no idea about how to get us out of it. Now, Taoiseach, I asked you 4 questions.
Let Deputy Gilmore put his question. Please put your question, please.
I asked you 4 questions. And with all your bluster, you forgot to answer them. Are you serious about closing down the Dáil for 6 weeks at this very difficult time? When are we going to hear exactly what you're going to do about the banks? What are the cuts in the health service? And when are they going to be outlined to us? And when are we going to have an opportunity to debate them? Or is it your intention just to set those out when this House is closed down for 6 weeks? Is that the plan? And finally, when are we going to see the economic recovery plan? No point in coming in here telling us about discussions with social partners when it comes to talking about the economic recovery plan. It's your responsibility to produce the economic recovery plan. No point in telling us you're having negotiations with the very same bankers who got us into the banking problem in the first place. When are you going to tell us what you're going to do about recapitalising the banks?